Hulk Hogan. He is right here with me tonight on Showbiz Tonight. Hulk Hogan, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, just got totally sucker punched after someone leaked a sex tape secretly shot of him some 5 years ago. Obviously, an incredible invasion of privacy, and the Hulk is rightfully fighting back, even just going to the police to get some help tracking down whoever did this. Hulk is now with TNA's Impact Wrestling, seen every Thursday night on Spike TV. Well, this Sunday night, it is a big TNA pay-per-view event with Hulk. There is a lot I want to know about that as well. But first of all, I want to welcome you to Showbiz Tonight.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. I have to start off by saying, not that you need my sympathy, but I have a lot of sympathy for you because you endured what we all saw play out as some very public drama years ago. You went through some really, really tough times, but you got through it, and you seem to be on this great path. You sort of stayed low, you got married, you've been working, and then this falls in your lap. I realize you take responsibility for the decisions you made back then, but the sex tape, first finding out that it was shot and then being released, has to have turned your world upside down.
Yes, I have been through a lot of stuff, and this single-handedly has flipped my world more than anything, more than divorce, more than 8 back surgeries when they say you're not going to walk, more than my son's accident, going to jail. This came out of nowhere. You know, yes, I'm accountable. Yes, I was the guy. Nobody wants to hear the woe is me story, but there is one. You know, I was at an all-time low, bad decision. These two people were friends, you know, and at the end of the day, at a really weak moment, I made a wrong decision.
And to be clear with some people who may not know the whole background of this tape was shot around 5.5 years ago. It was a time when you were still married to Linda. It was you having sex with your best friend's then wife.
Yes, sir.
They were still married, but it was all consensual. They all said, yes, you can do this, go ahead and do it. However, you didn't know it was being filmed. Your best friend we're talking about here, the radio personality Bubba the Love Sponge, who was apparently nearby. And then from what I understand, Hulk, about 6 months ago or so, you actually found out that this tape existed all these years later. Tell me what went through your mind when you found this out. You must have been like, tape? Huh?
Well, the whole thing sounded crazy for my best friend's wife to say, hey, I want to have sex with you. And for over 2 years, I said, this is crazy as it sounds, you know. And even though he was saying it's fine, you know, they both we're cool about it. So finally, like I said, at a low point, when my personal life was bottomed out, I said, okay, sure, fine. And all of a sudden, you know, I remember saying, hey, we're not filming this. I know you get security cameras. No, I'm your best friend. I never do that. So all of a sudden, when the first pictures leaked out, I asked my best friend. He goes, oh, I had nothing to do with it. So it kind of went away.
So when those pictures first leaked out, though, you had no warning they were coming all of a sudden?
No, just out of nowhere.
They show up. What went through your mind at that moment?
I figured it was on Bubba's watch and irresponsible, but he swore he had nothing to do with it. And so if we could fast forward to today, I'm coming to New York to talk about a wrestling tour and a new time slot, and all of a sudden, before I come here, these things come out. So I wanted to be here. I wasn't going to back out.
Right. To be clear, you were booked on the show to talk about wrestling long before any of this.
Yes, sir. And so I didn't want to hide my tail between my legs. I wanted to tell the truth. And at the end of the day, you know, with this thing leaking out, I said, okay, that's it. Now we're going all the way. You know, this is a crime. It's a felony. You know, there's supposed to be two-party consent when you film anything sexually. I had no idea the cameras were there. So I called Bubba and I said, you're my best friend, brother. Please tell me, because you got a family, you got a son. I need to know if you did anything, if you did this. Because if you didn't do this, I love you forever. If you did this, we were never friends. But now, criminal charges, civil charges, your son's involved, and he swore to me, you know, he had nothing to do with it. So as of yesterday, last night, people were calling me from TMZ, said they heard his voice. They heard that. I said, I have to see the tape.
And have you yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't been back from here. And they say it's the tail ending of the tape. They write down what was said.
Right. Now
transcribe it,
Right. To be clear, what TMZ told you was that Bubba is heard at the end of this tape talking about the tape, meaning if the reports are true, he clearly knew that this was being taped.
Yes, and if the reports are true, they say he was laughing when he went up to the camera and said, Heather, this is our retirement if we ever need it. Turn the camera off. And I said to Harvey, the guy at TMZ, I said, did you see the tape? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, well, then I don't believe it. And then an executive producer came on the phone with Mike Walters and said they saw it.
Right.
And I said, I have to see the tape.
Have you spoken with Bubba since this revelation that he was on the tape?
Well, I had reached out to him before I came here, and I said, this is going full blown. He goes, I'm on the team. I'm not going to lawyer up. I'm not going to do anything. When I get hit with this in New York, I called him. There was no answer. And next thing I know, I got a call from his lawyer. So I sent him to my lawyer, David Houston. But at the end of the day, if he did it, we were never friends. And to take someone that was at an all-time low, set him up, put a camera, and then say something about money, I can't believe someone would do that to another person. So that's why I'm praying to God. There's something.
So I got to ask you, though, if it does turn out that it is true, and Bubba was aware, separate of who leaked it, but that he was aware
I want to find out who leaked it, too.
But separate of that he was aware of this, as you say, illegal activity of it being taped, that he was aware that this was taking place and somehow involved. I mean, this guy was your best friend. He's been on this show defending you in the past.
And I defended him.
Will you have no choice but to prosecute?
Well, I told my attorney, David Houston, I said, David, this is something that we need to find out who everybody is now. Sure. We really need to find out who everybody is. So I told him last night, go full bore with criminal and civil charges. He's in L.A. when he gets back to Reno. He's moving forward. I mean, I want to know who everybody is. I want to know who's involved, why this happened, why they would do this to somebody when, with my kids, thank God my kids have been through so much and they're so old, and my new wife, Jennifer, who's not part of this media or any of this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why would someone do that to another person? That's why I'm still holding firm that I'm praying to God he's not involved.
But even if you don't personally get involved in press charges, is it the kind of a thing, because of the nature of the activity, that he could find himself in trouble anyway, separate of whether or not you want to get involved in press charges, if it turns out he was involved?
Well, you have to realize that if you don't do something about this, this could happen to another person, or whoever did this could do this to another person, or maybe there are others that this has happened to already, and all of a sudden they sit on a tape, and all of a sudden 10 or 15, 20 years later it shows up. I mean, this happened. I don't mean to stand you corrected, but I've been with Jennifer for 5 years. This happened before I met her.
Okay, so
so at the end of the day, why would somebody sit on something 6 years and then do this?
Let me ask you then about Jennifer, because again, you guys weren't together at the time that this happened, but I can't even imagine how difficult this has been for her. I know she found out because her cousin called her and said, "Do you see what's going on?"
Yeah.
Are you afraid your marriage won't survive this?
I believe that this situation isn't as strong as her love for me, because I've never had anybody that loved me unconditionally. I've had people tell me they love me, and then they walk away, and I hate you, and I hope your career's destroyed. I've had that happen. I've never had anybody really love me unconditionally. So as strong as Jennifer is, and her not being jaded by the media, and no part of this, it rocked her world. I have been through so much, but I have never seen anybody hurt this bad or flipped upside down like this. So it's the worst thing I've ever been through, bar none.
Yeah, well, we certainly hope you two can survive.
Yeah.